All right, welcome to lesson 2. We're going to talk about how to find seed keywords. If you're a new site builder, you probably have the same problem that everybody else does, which is you don't really know which niche you want to choose, what to write about. Exploring several different sources for good seed keywords is a great first step to finding awesome, profitable niches. So, first of all, what is a seed keyword? A seed keyword isn't that final keyword that you're necessarily going to be writing an article about, but it's just a starting idea. It's a simple, broad keyword that you can plug into keyword tools. You can use it to find competitors, other niche sites and blogs in the market, and also use to find good secondary keywords. So, here's an example. One seed keyword might be hunting. And you could modify that with the word top, reviews, or best to find good product-based keywords in the hunting niche. So we're just trying to find what the seed keyword is. So here's the deal. There really is about 1 million different ways that you can find seed keywords. And the good news is that you can use all of them. You don't have to worry about finding the perfect seed keywords. This is basically just a guided brainstorm, so you really can just go nuts. If you're trying to find something that you want to build a site on, use lots of different strategies. Now there's a few things to keep in mind before I show you different places to find these seed keywords. First of all, super niche seed keywords often do very well. And just because your keyword is really specific doesn't mean that your site has to be. It's just a good starting point. You can branch out. You don't necessarily need to stay in markets you know. These methods are meant to get you thinking and expose you to new ideas. But you can pick a market first if you like. If you really want to go into the hunting niche, like we will in our examples here, because you love it, you can still look for seed keywords only in that niche. So let's go ahead and jump into places to actually find your seed keywords. First example are forums within your niche. You can look at different forums for phrases, products, words, and keywords that people might be talking about in any particular market. So, for example, if you want to go into the hunting niche, here is one particular subreddit where lots of different things are talked about in relation to hunting. Some of the highlighted keywords that we have here are buying meat, places to hunt, knife, ram mounts, hunt video, and all of these different things could lead to actual keywords that are further along in the process. Now, there are tons of forums on the internet, and they can be a great resource not only to find seed keywords, but to dig a little bit deeper into the minds of the people that you're trying to target. I just went over to thebiggestboards.com, as you can see here, and there's just a huge list of different forums. You know, game battle forums, mommy forums, warrior cats, purse forums, hacking forums, Rotten Tomatoes, car forums, all sorts of things. And this is just one particular thing. You can sort by category. You can look at all the different categories here. So if you're truly just brainstorming and you don't know, you can come over here. I know there's another great list on Wikipedia. Just do a Google search for a list of forums. And so you could click on outdoor here, and it'll show you paintball forums, off-topic, gun forums, all sorts of different things. So that's just an example. And so I just showed you one on Reddit. But another great place that you can find seed keywords, again, these aren't necessarily the exact keywords you're going to write an article about, is over on Amazon and eBay. So what I mean is, here as a category on Amazon is binoculars. So my article that I write isn't going to just target binoculars, but that's the seed keyword that I'm going to use to generate an actual long tail phrase that I should be writing an article about. But places like Amazon and eBay, dig into those subcategories. If you're truly just brainstorming, there's millions of products. We just jumped into the hunting category page here on Amazon, but you can dig deeper into subcategories and find something that's really obscure or a really unique niche. You can also do the same thing on eBay, and I thought I'd just pull up a live example for fun. But if you just go over to ebay.com and you can select any of their categories here. Let's just say I select electronics, go over to cell phones and accessories. Let me do that again. Cell phones and accessories. Down here on the left-hand column, you can see all sorts of different niches and paths that it could lead you down. You could go into batteries, cables and adapters, cases. So if I just clicked on chargers and cradles, for example, I can dig even deeper. I can look at specific brands or types. Here's charging mat. That might be a great seed keyword. So, charging mat, I might write that down. You could create an entire site probably just on charging mats and different charging ports and dock stations, that sort of thing. So there you go. That's just an example of how to use eBay. And you can do the same on Amazon and lots of other e-commerce places that have lots and lots of categories. Another place that you can find seed keywords is just by looking around you. And this is kind of just taking a random walk and looking at things. Just a few things that are on my desk or that I can see. I can see a tape measure. I can see some screwdrivers. I can see some folders and portfolios. I see a portable camera, baby wash and shampoo as I look over into our master bathroom, paper checks, water bottles, you name it. All of these things could just be seed keywords. So look around your house. Is there anything that annoys you in your house or your car or at work? These can be seed keywords. Then, of course, hobbies, things that you buy a lot, stuff that you use every day. Seed keywords are all around you. They can all be a starting point that it can eventually lead to a great niche site or an e-commerce site or a project that you want to work on. Now, I'm not necessarily recommending that you be lazy, but if you just watch TV and pay attention, you can come up with a lot of great seed keywords as well. You want to look at commercials, and particularly infomercials, and which network that they might be on. Which products are mentioned on specific channels. Shows that have big followings, that have communities and audiences that you can tap into with other research methods that we mention here. This will help you just keep an eye out for trends, hot interests, in particular anything that people are paying for. That can be a great seed keyword. Also, by going shopping and paying attention, you can start to get a lot of seed keyword ideas as well. So you can really go into any store and see hundreds of different products. Each of those products can be a seed keyword. And depending on where you're at in your brainstorming process, you can try these. Places like Target, general shopping stores, slightly more niche stores like sporting goods, and then, of course, very specific niche stores, sports card stores, bait shops, other places. Also, looking at Google Trends can be very useful. It's a great way to see what people are actually searching for and talking about. So let's see what comes up when we search for hunting. A few of the good seed keywords, potentially, that we see in the related searches are rifle, hunting license, bow hunting, hunting dog. So very simple to just go over to Google Trends, type in any type of phrase that you might have interest, and start finding those better seed keywords. Affiliate networks can have tons of products to promote, and they can therefore be a great place to find seed keywords. You can write about these subjects and promote those products. There weren't many hunting affiliate products But here's some good examples in the photography niche. If you jump over to, this screenshot is just from clickbank.com, our seed keyword might be photo editing. ClickBank is one place, but there's commissionjunction.com, there's neverblue.com, there's all sorts of different affiliate networks. In fact, you can just do a Google search for affiliate networks and start browsing around the types of categories and products that they're selling there. And there truly is a treasure trove of things that you could be promoting, writing about, and a way to discover lots of different seed keywords. Now, if you go to the library, you're going to see thousands and thousands of books, of course. All of these different topics can be different seed keyword ideas. You just need to walk down the aisles, look for interesting ideas, and ask yourself, could this be a cool website or article, or does this have a lot of potential? If you find something that is awesome that you like, spend some time browsing the books to see what other people are writing about. Bonus tip here is that if you browse magazines, they can truly be gold mines for niche ideas. Most magazines are in highly profitable markets, and they're usually niched down just a little bit to give you a better picture of who you should be targeting. Google Instant is another great place to find seed keywords, and to be honest, not just seed keywords sometimes. Often it can be used to find very specific, highly targeted keywords as well. So you're all familiar with it. As you start typing in a keyword, this waterfall or Google Instant pops up and it starts showing you very commonly searched for phrases. And now, as I understand, usually the keyword at the top gets the highest search volume and then it goes down. So it's ranked by popularity. So this can be a really good place. So if you know any particular market you want to go into, such as hunting, you just type that and look at those. Hunting rifles, hunting dogs, hunting season, hunting knives. All of those could be seed keyword ideas that you could then use to do further research. Now, Google Instant is so much fun. I want to go ahead and pull it up and do a couple of live examples. Now, as I do this, I really don't know what's going to come up because I didn't pre-plan this, but earlier I mentioned that I had a water bottle on my desk here, and so let's go ahead and use that. Let's just type in water bottle. And so water bottle labels, water bottle Minecraft, water bottle bomb, maybe those aren't great, but if you don't have something great, you can take and add a letter. So let's just do water bottle and then put the letter C. There you go. Water bottle cage, water bottle crafts, water bottle carrier, or if we put D, water bottle dispenser, delivery, dog toy. J, jellyfish, jug, juicer. All of these things, even if I don't go into whatever a water bottle jellyfish is, I don't know, maybe a craft, but let's say juicer, that popped something into my mind. Suddenly, maybe I should try doing juicers. Maybe there's a market there. There's juicer recipes. Again, so let's just type in R, reviews. How about L? And again, I'm just typing in random things. Juicer lemon, lemonade. So it looks like a lot of recipes. Or type in words, for sale, for wheatgrass. Juicer at. Anyways, you get the idea. All of these could be seed keyword ideas that you could then use to do all sorts of things. Juicer versus blender. That could be a great one. Or you could just go into, and then there's best juicer. Anyways, I could go on and on. Using Google Instant is a great way to find seed keywords, really to get the mind flowing. Just allow yourself to free flow, go into different areas, particularly as you're researching what niche you want to go into. Another great place is Wikipedia. You can either do a search directly on Wikipedia categories, or you can look at actual articles to find those seed keywords. So in the hunting category, I just did a quick search, and we've got bait, luring substance, a boar spear, decoys, all these sorts of things could be all good seed keywords. Another great place is newspapers and magazines. I know I mentioned magazines a little bit before, but they really are a good way to look at which markets are profitable and what they're talking about. Or you can find several magazines in a market you already know you want to go into, and they'll be stuffed full of seed keywords. Another place is to just look at ads online. Online ads are often going to be a little more specific, but they can give you a good idea of the types of products people in any given market are searching for. So if I go back over to, I was doing a Google Instant Search. We do our juicer versus blender. Let's try that again. Juicer versus blender. You can see that there's all sorts of ads over here. I can see Vitamix. I can see top 10 best juicers, blenders at Lowe's. So what I start to see is some potential seed keyword ideas. So maybe I want to look at what's related to Vitamix and best juicers and other things. Anyways, looking at specific ads can help you go a little bit further. Magic Bullet, Breville, Nutra Ninja, all of these are things that perhaps I should be trying to implement when I actually go out and start writing content. Another place is to look at other niche websites. We'll go into a lot more in depth in the competitor research lesson, but an easy way to look at what other niche sites are writing about is to just use Google Site Operator, using the site example. So this particular screenshot is just, I looked at the site hunterblades.com, and that pulls up all of the different articles that they've written, what they're ranking for on Google, and it shows the keywords that they're actually ranking for. So these can be some seed keywords ideas, such as best hunting knife, types of hunting knife blades, best-selling hunting knives, best knife blade cleaners, best fishing knife, Bark River Gunny review. So using the site operator of site:/example.com is a great way to see what your competitors are doing, but also to just generate some general seed keyword ideas. Another thing, as simple as it is you can just ask someone. I've done this a lot of times to get myself to start brainstorming and start thinking differently. I'll sit down and I'll ask my wife, what's something that you bought recently? Or I'll even just come out and say, what's a random niche that you can think of? And she might say cheese wheels or hair barrettes, and will be something that is totally off my radar that I never would have thought of, that I can do some research to decide if, hey, maybe that's a good niche that I can go into. And so, again, just great way to brainstorm is using some of those techniques. Overall, just remember that there's so many different ways that you can brainstorm for seed keywords. These are just starting points. You shouldn't be at a loss for what specifically you should be targeting. If you're having trouble, honestly, just lower your standards. If you're still having trouble, pick a different market. Look at different ways that you can brainstorm, find those good seed keyword ideas, and if you decide that you want to go into the juicer market or into the hunting market, start using a lot of these tactics that we just walked through. Keep a notepad file and just jot down 50 or 60 or 70 seed keyword ideas. It really is pretty easy to do. You should be able to get a couple of dozen without any problem. Put those in a notepad file, and then in the next lesson we're going to show you how to start actually doing the full-on keyword research to decide specific keywords that you should be targeting. So I look forward to hanging out a little bit more with you in the next lesson. Thanks a lot.